Yuzu shuts down to better emulate video gaming industry. So we had seen that this was a lawsuit coming across for Yuzu by Nintendo. We didn't have all the details. We got a little bit more of some talk about what was potentially happening yesterday from our buddy Soup. And I want to try to dive into this a little bit more and see what we yo, can you just make this go away? Yeah, thanks. Okay, whatever, dude. Embattled Nintendo Switch emulator Yuzu has announced today that they intend to shut down the company as one last emulation of the entire video game industry. Quote, we started this project in good faith. A statement from the company read, but we see now that if we truly want to provide gamers with the most realistic emulation possible, we need to kill what they love. Goodbye forever, everyone. The news sent shockwaves through the gaming community along with some praise. Honestly, nailed it. Felt like the real thing. One social media commentator wrote, just when I started to really love the service, got used to relying on it, I hear some big business decision resulted in it being killed. This is the true gamer experience. Insiders in the gaming in the company gave some insight into the logic behind this final emulation. The AAA emulation cycle is just simply too long. The economics don't work. One insider speaking on a condition of anonymity said, killing it now is a tax break anyways. So here's the problem, again, and we're gonna continue to read about this in the next article. Emulation is a fantastic tool for preserving video gaming history. Nintendo being one of the worst companies out there at eliminating our access to their historical content. We saw it here recently with them shutting down the 3DS and the Wii U eShop. Meaning that our access to all of that content is basically gone, right? They suck. Nintendo sucks. Consoles, in general, have historically not been very good. They're not good with backwards compatibility. They're not good with maintaining your access to historical content, even on the consoles you own that aren't maybe current anymore. You name it. They also love to not give you access or backwards compatibility because they want to make you double and triple dip, right? It sucks. And here's Nintendo. Nintendo loves doing this whole thing with, we're going to remove your access to the content that you still want to access and still want to play, but don't you dare go access it anywhere else. We're not going to give you a legit way to access it, but don't you dare go out there and play it on an emulator or anything. Nintendo's disgusting. Now, on the flip side, as I've said many times before, I don't condone and view emulators as being something that are applicable for circumventing, supporting the industry as a whole with modern hardware and modern software. What I mean by that is basically, if you're using emulators for piracy, right? If you're using it for piracy to go and emulate the Switch hardware, emulate Switch games, stuff like that, that you don't own. That's the caveat, right? If you own those games already and you own the Switch hardware already, you can emulate whatever the crap you want. That's okay because you own that stuff. So that's one of the big issues here as well. This is not just a black and white kind of area here. There's a lot of gray here that has to be sifted through. And let's be real honest here. There's a reason why so many people, even people that own the Switch hardware and own the Switch software, want to emulate their games on PC because it plays better. The Switch hardware is old. It's been old for a long time. And basically anything that comes out for that piece of hardware plays much better on a PC. That's just a fact. So while these emulators are being used for piracy, which I don't condone, I don't think it's good. I understand, again, why some people have gotten to the point of using piracy to an extent. I know people have gotten to a point of using piracy to an extent to try games before they buy games. And I understand it. We've been jaded. We've been duped. A lot of us have felt a lot of buyer's remorse over the years for buying into these huge companies, baiting us into buying unfinished games or games that don't fulfill the content promises that were being shoved in our faces through their marketing ploys and everything through the development process. And whenever that happens, it feels terrible. So what people have started doing in large part is they use piracy to try the games first, you know? But what I have to say is that if that's what you're doing, if you find the good games, you support those games. You find the games that are releasing in a good state, they feel good. And again, I don't condone piracy, but if this is the way that you've decided to approach this industry, you know, I can understand why. And if this is what you're doing, buy those games. Buy those games, support the good companies. Support the companies doing the good work, right? So you find those games that are releasing in a finished state, they're bringing you great content, you're going to continue to play them, buy those games. Support those companies. We've got to support the better side of the industry. That has to happen. It's the only way things get better for us, you know? So apparently some of the things that we're having with Yuzu here was there was a lot of circumventing the process of legit buying of hardware and software for Nintendo, which is why Yuzu got shut down. Now, the second article we have here is Yuzu addresses shutdown. Piracy was never our intention. Probably not. Probably not. I think anybody that gets into this realm of tech and gaming and stuff where you're providing people emulation services, you've got to be hyper aware of where it could lead to, which is this. It is piracy. And especially when you're dealing with companies like Nintendo, big companies, and Nintendo or PlayStation or Xbox or big, you're going to get shut down. It's going to happen. Nintendo's going to come hard, dude. They're going to get you. They do it all the time. This is not a rarity. We've seen this happen time and time again, right? So yesterday, news service that Nintendo of America had mutually agreed with Tropic Haze LLC to settle a lawsuit, with the latter company being ordered to pay $2.4 million in damages. This was a short-lived lawsuit raised on the claim that Tropic Haze had facilitated piracy of Nintendo's Tears of the Kingdom title in 2023 through its Yuzu emulation platform. Now, Tropic Haze has reached out on social media to its fan base to post a statement mourning the shutdown of the firm. Piracy should end. Despite allegedly allowing more than 1 million downloads of Tears of the Kingdom before the game was released in May of 2023 on its platform. See, this is the thing. Let's talk about this in a second. Tropic Haze stressed numerous times in its recent statement that it's against piracy. One of the biggest sticking points in this debacle is that Tropic Haze ran a Patreon subscription service for its Yuzu platform, which means that the company was getting paid for offering these emulated Nintendo games, including the then unreleased Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, this was a big issue as well. So not only was there legitimate piracy going on, but this is some of the stuff that we kind of started catching wind of yesterday. They had a Patreon, meaning they were getting paid for letting people pirate all this stuff, which just exacerbated this issue for them. This in and of itself was going to lead to Nintendo coming at them, but then this makes it even worse. Here's what, and I'm going to go back up here and talk about this a little bit more, but here's what Tropic Haze said in a recent statement on social media. Yuzu and its team have always been against piracy. Started the projects in good faith, out of a passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and we're not intending to cause harm. But we see now that because our projects can circumvent Nintendo's, what is this? Technological protection measures and allow users to play games outside of authorized hardware, they have led to extensive piracy. In particular, we have been deeply disappointed when users have used our software to leak game content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans. We We have come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. Effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, soon shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step toward ending piracy of all creators' work. Yuzu socials have been cleared down ahead of global shutdown, marking a bitter end for the service that has been around for more than 6 years. This isn't the first emulation platform Nintendo has taken legal action against, and it probably won't be the last. Like I was just talking about, this is definitely not the first time we've seen this, and it definitely won't be the last. Absolutely. As I talk about all the time, and as we talked about previously today, right? I don't condone piracy. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's healthy for the industry, but I'm also always about educating people. Pinky said Fortnite. What happened? Pinky's turning into a Fortnite player. That's all it was. Yeah. He's done with TF2, and he's just going to play Fortnite solely now, moving forward. So, again. So, the problem here is as I've said before, a lot of my educating on how I feel about this industry is trying to get people to take a look at the companies that you should trust, companies you shouldn't trust. And I understand where people have gotten to with using piracy to an extent of testing games before they decide to buy, for especially the companies that you don't trust. I'm sorry, but as much as I harp on Nintendo for a lot of their bad quality of life for consumers, a lot of the scummy things they do to their consumers and their fan base and stuff, they are a company that you can trust for solid content, solid performing releases. First party titles are always amazing. Everybody knew Tears of the Kingdom was going to play very well on release. So for people to sit here and go, you know, most of these people that pirated Tears of the Kingdom to try and act like, I mean, and not that this is the premise here, but I just don't believe that the majority of these people were probably downloading this game in a means of trying it first to make sure it was going to be good before they bought it. They were just trying to steal, and that's not okay. That's not okay. So this is something we're going to have to continue to deal with. Again, there's a lot of gray area to this topic. Emulation. Where is it applicable? Where is it acceptable? Where is it okay? And where does it lead to not okay situations? We always have these conversations. There's a lot of great stuff that emulation brings to the table for us, especially with preserving video gaming history. And we'll continue to have to hash out this kind of topic and these issues in regards to emulation. It's just never going to stop, man.